Toyota trucks are different. Tacoma is built for your life's adventures. Dependable day in and day out for weekend warriors and as a die-hard work truck. Tacomas also do better when it comes to fuel costs. Now's the time to buy right. Toyota trucks are different.
Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.
And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. Sitting in again for Stan the Fan Charles, I'm your host, Gary Stein. Once again, a great show in store for you this weekend. As always, we hope you enjoy it. Big news down at the ballpark at Camden Yards this week as the Orioles make a savvy move before the All-Star break, cutting a deal with the Chicago Cubs for veteran right-hander Scott Feldman. Here to discuss the details of that deal and the expectations for the Birds' new starter is PressBox Orioles beat writer Paul Folcomer. Also, less than a month out from NFL training camp, the evaluation process has already begun, not only for NFL head coaches and their staffs, but also for fantasy football owners. Who's poised for a breakout fantasy season in 2013? Our resident fantasy football guru, Ken Zales, will join us this week with a few potentials on that. In 2012, Charm City welcomed another soccer team to the fold. It's the Baltimore Bohemians. And in their sophomore campaign as part of the USL's premier developmental league, the club is making some noise. Not only is the squad leading the PDL in scoring, but they're in the hunt for its first playoff berth. Joining me now in studio are a couple of bows, as it were, midfielder Mamadou Kansaye and defender Marquez Fernandez. And gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are you?
Very good.
And you guys have known each other for a long time. You've been teammates for a long time, and now you're playing for a shot to go to the playoffs here. So we'll start with you, Mamadou. Just talk a little bit about the team and what you guys have done right this year.
Well, first things first, I think is training. We actually got to training this season. Last season we didn't have very much of that because it was a fairly new team and we kind of got rushed into it. But this year we got good facilities at McDonough, and we also have Loyola University to thank for the great facility they gave us to play and train.
And both of you were holdovers from last year. So Marquez, my question, there are about 25 guys on the team. Only 9 were held over from last year.
Right.
That's a big turnover. What about that?
Well, I mean, it just goes to last year. It was the first year we kind of unsuccessful. We didn't get as many wins as we have liked. So this year, the owners came with Steve Nichols, our head coach, and just pretty much say, do what you need to do to turn the program around. So he kept the 9 of us, I guess the core group, if you want to say it like that, and then brought in a lot of new guys that would help us get the results. And as you see, we've done very well this past season.
So what about the meshing? When you bring 16 new guys into a 25-man roster, there's like a little bit of an adjustment period there, but it seems like you guys have done it.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the 16 new guys are guys that we've played with before in the past, whether like different colleges or even some guys who have graduated from college but that we've played soccer with in the past.
Well, and let's talk about that. So you guys have known each other. You're 20 years old now. You've known each other for 8 years since you were 12. You've played now for 4 different teams together through the ranks, including in college and now including in the PDL. Talk about the familiarity that you have with Marquez. I guess you guys are pretty good friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not something new. Since we were 12, a lot of times when we would go to games and our parents would usually carpool,
right.
And he would sleep over my house, I would sleep over his house, and it was a lot of things like that. So we're pretty familiar with each other, especially in terms of the way we play, and we both grew up in the same kind of, I guess you could say, culture in terms of soccer. So it's not very difficult to play with someone like him.
What do you? So you talk about that, the culture of soccer. What do you think about the culture of soccer in this country in general?
Well, I'm not very sure how to explain that really, but when I watch a national team play, at least it seems like, now
people are into it.
Yeah, people are definitely into it, and
right.
It's definitely making some noise right now. I think in the next 5 years, the U.S. will definitely be up there.
Because the U.S. is getting better as a nation? So what does that mean, that they're getting better athletes to continue with soccer, in your opinion?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily getting better athletes, because I think the U.S. is, like always, has very athletic players. I think it's more so that the soccer sense and smarts are getting better. We're adjusted to playing other nations, competing against some of the great countries. In last Confederations Cup, we beat Spain and then made it to Brazil in the finals. So I think altogether the nation's recognizing how U.S. soccer is growing and how a big emphasis is being placed on the youth players and building up, which is how the academy was created a couple years ago. So
Right. So how excited are you about this? I mean, it does seem like soccer is continuing to grow.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I actually can't wait to get into coaching. Well, hopefully get into the professional, but if that doesn't work, but I definitely want to get into the coaching part and be able to bring it to the next level.
So back to the Bows. You guys have 19 points on the season. You trail Reading by 2. You've got Reading, a huge game coming up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the team right now?
We feel good. We feel good. We've been training well. Our coaches have been really getting into us to perform the level that we can. Right now, it's grind time.
Right.
You know, we can't really slow down. We just got to make it.
Do you find that the competition in the PDL is better than at UMBC, or college in general? Are you playing with a higher level player, or is it about the same?
I would say it's definitely, I don't know, it's hard to say whether it's better or not, but it's definitely slightly different because there are a lot of players who aren't in college, in the league. Our team is very young, everyone's in college, but when we play against some teams like Ocean City and some other teams like that, it's very competitive, fast-paced. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, it's similar, but then a lot of the players are also training with some MLS teams, so they have exposure to different environments.
So we got about 30 seconds. What are your goals? You're 20 years old. Mm-hmm. You want to play soccer for 10 more years? I mean, what do you see for yourself?
I would say I want to keep playing soccer until my legs don't work. But
hopefully that's not for a long time.
Yeah, hopefully. But I definitely would see. I have 2 more college seasons left,
right.
And I would hopefully see after that maybe have a look in the MLS or another league that I would be able to be successful in.
So that's Marquez's story. What about Mamadou's story?
Pretty much same thing. Definitely keep playing until I can't, and hopefully get into coaching. And one of my goals is to bring the U.S. to a World Cup, at least semifinal.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Guys, listen, you got your whole careers ahead of you. Congratulations and best of luck against Reading coming up. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, and a big thank you to those guys, we'll discuss the Orioles' big trade this week with PressBox beat writer Paul Fulcomer. Don't go away.
Want a great t-shirt for the female sports fan in your life? Check out the Your Turn t-shirt, available now at yourturntshirt.com.